Alright guys, we've got a new project we're starting today for this BF Falcon XR6. It's an X-Taxi. We're doing a full sound system, so we're removing all the old equipment, which consisted of a couple of Kicker 12s, a few Kicker 6x9s, a heap of wiring that just needs to go because it's in very bad condition. So starting off fresh, getting all that ripped out, and we're replacing it with a couple of Sundown Audio X12s. Quite beastie subs. They're 1500 RMS, weigh at 32 kilos each. So yeah, pretty heavy, pretty beastie. Also got a couple of B2 audio amplifiers, a couple of monoblocks, possibly at this stage a couple of 4-channels, a heap of 0-gauge wiring. And then to power the system, we're doing a full battery relocation. So we've got dual HC110s to run in the boot, which should be plenty enough power for this system, but the boot's going to be quite heavy with, all this equipment going into it. So heap of fun to build, and should be quite a loud system. For the doors, at this stage, I'm going with Hertz speakers, possibly 3-ways at this stage, and maybe dual 3-ways in each door. So quite a custom system, quite big, quite loud, not your everyday Kicker sort of system or anything like that. So yeah, in today's episode, I'm going to be pulling out all the old equipment in the boot and getting that all cleaned up, so we're ready to design the sub box. And I'll design the box and 3D model it in CAD and work out all the port area, any internal bracing, get a full 3D model of the system. And once that's done, then we can start cutting it and building the box. So we'll see what we get done today.
Designed to impress.
Alright, so I've got all the boot all cleaned up now, and I've gave it a quick vacuum to get rid of all the dirt and stuff. So now we're going to put in my expanding box, which allows me to work out what size the box is going to be and visually see how much room it's going to take up. Also allows me to make sure the box can be taken in and out of the vehicle without any issues. So we'll design that up, and once the box is all designed, then I can start cutting it and get it built. But the first step is to see how big it's going to be, and then I'll actually design it up in Fusion 360, so do a full 3D model of the box before I cut it. So we'll get that started. So I've got the box all mocked up. I've ran some calculations and we've got about 6 cubic feet there. By the time I take in the 2 subs, which are 0.2 cubic feet each in displacement, and then work out a port roughly 100mm wide by the full's height and the length at tuned to 32 Hz Hertz, we end up with about 5 cubic feet, which is what these subs want. So I reckon that's going to be spot on. Now I'll just 3D model it in Fusion 360 and get further designs done, and we can work out exactly what length we need to make the port and stuff, and then work out internal bracing and things like that, because this box is going to need to be pretty solid to handle these subs. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. Alright, so I've got the box all designed up in Fusion 360. So I've got a full 3D model here of what I'm planning to build. Nice curve port, so shouldn't get any turbulence, and the port velocity is kept well below 30 meters per second, so we should be right in that regard. I've done some calculations, and by the time I took out all these sorts of internal structures and a bit of bracing and all that sort of stuff, we've got between 4 to 4.5 cubic feet. Now, Sundown recommend a 5 cubic foot box for these subs, but I've compared them in base box, I've compared the curves, and there's really no difference between what Sundown recommend and this design. So I've tuned it a fraction lower, so if anything, this box actually does, in theory, perform better than the recommended. Still a flat response, still should play the lows, still should play the highs very well. So yeah, so this is the design. It's got, yeah, as I said, curve port, so nice smooth exit, so no real sharp right corners. A few roundovers internally. This embracing, which will house the magnet, so that way it's supported because because it's such a heavy sub. I didn't want it just free hanging and to try and put so much stress on these front beams. So I've gone ahead and exploded this. So we have this layout here, which is all the components needed. All this here's components needed to make this sub. So this sub box, sorry. So now I can go ahead and cut each one of these individually on the CNC machine. I mean, got a CNC machine, so you might as well use it rather than make work for yourself. I've done it plenty of times where you've had to cut this by hand, but if you have a CNC machine, it makes life easier. So I'll go ahead and cut these individually because my machine only does a 900 by 1200 cut area. So I'll be able to cut this one first and the next one and so on until we have all the pieces done, and then I'll be able to start assembling the box. So I think we might leave it here for now, and the next episode will be cutting out the box and building it. So stay tuned for the XR6 taxi install.
Designed to impress.